This video is to show you how to install these one-piece LED headlights onto an SN95 Mustang. This is a 1995 Mustang convertible GT, and as you can see, I've installed one of the headlights already. The brand of these headlights, well, I won't say, but there is a superhero associated with this arachnid. I don't want the company trying to take this video off of YouTube. However, there are many videos on YouTube showing you how to install these headlights, but I haven't found one that's all that helpful, so hopefully this video will be even more helpful than the few that are on YouTube right now. These are the old headlights. There are many videos showing you how to remove these, so I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. This is the driver's side headlight as it looks like after it's been installed. The weather stripping is flush, and I'll open the panel up and you can see everything is plugged in. These are the halo LED lights. That's the headlight, and the signal light is back in there, so you can't take it without removing the headlight. So in order to adjust, you may need to adjust it using that peg. That's a horizontal adjust, and the top one here is for the vertical adjust. So in preparation for this job, you have to cut away some of the plastic trim from the old headlights. As you can see, I cut away some of the trim here. Right here, there was a kind of like a separator between the headlight and the signal light. And then I cut away a little bit of this and a little bit of this also, just to make sure that the headlights can push in all the way. The new headlights, and then I trimmed out a little bit here and there just to be safe, also to make sure I had plenty of space, and just a little bit off of this one. Not sure if that one's needed, but just in case, you know, I cut it off to make some room. Another thing that you have to do in preparation for this is you have to cut away, well, I grinded it using some sandpaper on a Dremel sandpaper wheel, and pulled out a little bit of this hole to enlarge it, because otherwise the headlight, when it sets back in there, the rubber boot scrapes onto the hole there. The hole's not quite lined up with the new lights, so you have to pull out a little bit of that. The third thing you must do in prep, you need to take the signal light out and pull it through. I'll show you how to do that. Pull it through here, the hole. Once you get it out, you need to open up the casing here. I've already retaped it, but you need to take that tape off and pull it out of the plastic. Then the center wire, which is the brown wire, that's the one for the parking lights, which it connects to the halo light. Okay, the halo light is your new parking light. The signal is the color, and the black is ground for the signal light. So don't cut those. Only cut the center light. It looks brown in this. It's not red. That's the positive. You have to create a new negative. And so I tied in this negative. I put it through the hole through here and wrapped it around and connected to this body ground tab here. And I used a regular Posneg connector. That way I can just plug and play the new lights. Another thing that I did to the light to prepare it for connection is, according to the directions, you connect all of the positives and the negatives together. So red and white go, and black go from the halo lights. That way you can plug it in to the new parking light connector that you made. Another thing, this bracket right here, I've removed the adjusting bolts so that I could check and make sure that this sets into the new socket after I trim some of the plastic away. But you need to make sure that you replace these screws here, because the original screws, when I used the screws on the other one that I already installed, these stripped out immediately when I was adjusting. So I put a long screw at the bottom. It's a machine screw. And I also put a medium-sized screw. Well, it's pretty short, but not as short as the stock screws. The screws they came with were really short and really chintzy, and this thing pulled right out. You don't want that happening. I removed all of the brackets. This one goes down here, okay, and there's another one that goes over there, just so I can make sure that all of this entire assembly will fit in, and I trimmed enough plastic away. I'll put it back in before I put the headlight in place. As you can see, I've replaced the mounting clips. This is the horizontal adjusting bar. This is the vertical adjusting bar, and this is the lower mount screw. They'll pop right in. And then I've also put in my signal light from the old signal light, which is here. Actually, it would be this one. No, it's this one. From the old signal light, it just came right out of the hole, and it pops right in the new hole exactly the same way as it did in the old one. I put the connector facing inward. One more thing I forgot to mention, this top clip here, when it came in the box, this was mounted upside down. I had to pull it off and flip it around, which wasn't hard. You just wiggle out the LED out of the hole, and this wiggles right off. Okay, and you can put it in the way it needs to go. It should go with the bolt side down. If you do it the other way, it will not fit in the car. Okay, so I have all the wiring ready to go. I'm gonna install the headlight now. So first thing we want to do is plug in all the electrical connections. And then the side signal goes the other way. There we go, signal. All right, now we're gonna feed all those things through the hole there and find the pegs in the holes. The pegs are coming through the holes, and they're getting ready to click in place. There's a track, upper and lower track, for the plastic guide to go on as they go into the bolts. I'm going to push them in, and they should lock in place at the bottom. And then the top one has the metal clip that you slide down in, just like when you were taking out the original headlights. So I did have this already installed, and I should have done this earlier, but you need to make sure your connections work and all the lights are working before you pop it in place. I did that earlier. I did not film that. So we're gonna show you what it looks like when it's working. So we're gonna turn the halo lights on. Okay, now the headlights, so that's parking, and then headlights, it's all the way out. And now we're going to do the signal light, and then the brights, and then we'll shut everything back off again. Okay, now this is what it's gonna look like with all of them working. Go ahead, halo, headlights, signal right, signal left, okay, and brights. Okay, shut everything off. Okay, the last thing to do is adjust the headlights. I'm gonna tighten them in. You need a 4mm socket. I was using a socket for the upper one. The one that's down there for horizontal, I bought a small 4mm wrench because I couldn't get the socket down in there. And then you can adjust the horizontal down there and the vertical here. And that's it.